What's going on, guys? JPP Duel here. Hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. And for today's matchup, we have an Adventures Pranks versus an Eldlich, with my opponent playing Eldlich going first. Now, looking at my current hand, I am pretty bricked, so if I do not draw into a combo starter card on my next draw, we are pretty screwed. Looking at this, the Cursed Eldland activation, we know our opponent is playing Eldlich. And what are Eldlich players known for? Setting down cards, passing their turn, right? That's exactly what my opponent does. Now, even though this guy had another spot on the field he could have set down another card in, he chose not to do that. So what I ended up doing was, before my opponent ended his turn, I activated my Griffin Rider to check whether in case he had or if he was running any hand traps. Because trust me, nowadays, Eldlich players are running Maxi, Ash Blossom, those kind of hand traps in their deck list, even though it's not optimal. So I was just checking for it. Turns out he was not running it, so Griffin gets put on the field regardless. Now, turn change, we draw our card, draw into Draco back. That's a big Garnet, no combo starter card, so what I end up doing is that I go into my Fateful Adventure, get my Enchantress, and then with the Enchantress, we're going to be searching for our right. And since we had the flag in our hand, that means we will be able to put another body on the field by recycling the banished Enchantress. Now, keep in mind, guys, prank kids are not affected by this floodgate right here. There can be only one does not affect your play. You could still do full Butler combo even with this card on the field, because all your prank kids monsters are different types, not attribute, different types. This card is a floodgate for types. So basically, at the same time, you cannot put your Doodle-Doo and your Fansies on the field because both are Thunder type. But regardless of that, you could still do your combo completely, because you could go into Predaplant and then put your Butler on the field that way. So this card would not matter to you. Now I activate Draco back, and then I bounce the There Can Be Only One. That means we could go into our full combo if we had our Prank Kids combo starter card. Sadly, we did not have it. Now right here, as I told you guys, I will be bouncing my Banished Enchantress to put the flag on the field. Flag will search me for my corridor. And before I made this decision, I thought about it in-game. I thought about it, I believe, for a minute and a half, whether I wanted to commit my normal summon to this play. With this damage going through, it was not enough to lethal my opponent, but it was enough to put him in lethal range for my next turn. He would be down to 200 life points if all these cards get a full whack in the opponent's face. But this again takes away my normal summon. So I know that one of these cards he set down probably will summon an Eldritch monster, or maybe one of them is a Conquistador or Haquero, because we saw him search for the Conquistador before as well. So he probably wants to mitigate one card's damage. So I was hoping that, with that, if I activate Maxi, I would draw into something useful. And lo and behold, my opponent does activate the Haquero. I activate Maxi, that means I'll be getting a +1. And I was so upset at that point. I had already committed my normal summon to the play. So I was like, bro, can it get any worse from this point forward? If I had not committed my corridor to the play, I would have been able to put a full Prank Kids board. I would have been able to basically wipe out his board and push in. Well, I would not be able to push into damage, but I could probably have gone into something more useful than what I have on the board currently. And that pretty much bummed me out, but that's besides the point. We get on with the replay. The game punched me super hard, but that's okay. I set down my Forbidden Droplet and my turn. My opponent is at 2.2k life points now. This guy ended up hard drawing into his Eldlich the Golden Lord. So he activates it to try and target my token. So obviously we use our Griffin to negate the Eldlich from destroying our token. Then he activates from the graveyard, throws one card from the field into the grave, and puts it in the field with 3.5k attack. With this, he could go over any single monster he wants on the field. Then he activates Conquistador as well, pops my token, goes into battle phase, tries to kill off my corridor. So obviously, the best thing that I can do at this point is activate Forbidden Droplet to negate the attack from going through. And then he links off into a Nightmare to pop my back row Faithful Adventure. Now at this point, he's going to be getting the graveyard activation. He sets down Scarlet Sanguine. And if you guys look at my opponent's graveyard, he has managed to throw all 3 of his Golden Lords in the graveyard. So at this point, if I draw into something useful, I win the game outright. But let's see what we draw into. I draw into a copy of Fancies. Not a good card whatsoever. And we know that my opponent, the card he set down this turn from his hand is There Can Be Only One, the Floodgate that we bounced in turn 2. And as I told you guys before, Prank Kids can do full combo even under There Can Be Only One. That does not stop you. But there was a chink in the whole thing. I already had a Thunder monster on the field. That means I cannot go into Doodle-Doo and I cannot put Fancies on field. So let's see how I play with that. We acted our graveyard activation, put Lamps on field, and at this point when I was trying to go into my Doodle-Doo, I realized I already had a Thunder monster on the field. So what I had to do was go into battle phase first, and since these both cards have 1.9k attack, I could just bump them into each other and kill them off. That means we go into our Doodle-Doo combo and go into full Butler afterwards. So I do just that. He activates the Sanguine, puts the Golden Lord on the field. We don't care about that. I'm okay with that. Then, since the Corridor is dead, now we could link off into our Doodle-Doo, which is, by the way, a Thunder type monster as well. You guys see right here. And then we get the Doodle-Doo Surge, which is our prank, so that way we could recycle our cards. Lamps activation, burn our opponent for 500. That is a pretty significant burn at this point because he's already really low on life points. With this, we banish our Fancies from the hand, get a special on the field, go into Verte Anaconda. Now, as I told you guys, I did not go into Fancies on field. What I ended up doing was just banish the Fancies from my hand. That way the Predaplant can give me the Thunder Dragon Fusion into my Butler. So there it is, Predaplant to Thunder Dragon Fusion. We go into our Butler, and since this is main phase 2, we put Butler face up defense, not face up attack. We activate Pranks. At the end, I will be activating Pranks, recycling my cards because I have thrown way too many Prank cards in the graveyard. My opponent activates the Aquera plus Conquistador, setting down 2 different elixirs, I believe. Then with the Pranks, we recycle our cards. Now this recycle, if you guys notice, I recycled my Meowmoo with this recycle. Because I know against Eldlich, having 2 Butler Pops does not mean anything. You only need 1 Butler Pop and that's it. You don't even need to go into your second Butler Pop. It ends up becoming pretty useless. And we needed a combo starter card for our next turn, hence the Meowmoo recycle. Now, even if I don't draw into a combo starter card for my next turn, I had Thunder Dragon Fusion in the graveyard to banish and search for my combo starter card. Again, the reason for the Meowmoo recycle is all of that. You have to take it into account the big picture, the full game, what you will do next turn. You can't just be thinking about this turn itself. So with the Pranks, there is some mind games you can do onto your opponents and stuff like that, so keep that in mind. With that, opponent goes in draw phase, and this guy is the luckiest guy I've ever seen. Like, he is drawing the most broken cards for every single turn. Last turn he hard drew into his Golden Lord. This turn he hard drew a Lava Golem. Like, Lava Golem is one of the cards that just kills me off completely, and this guy draws into it outright. So Lava Golem takes away my Butler, and I had 2 monsters on field for his Lava Golem to be activatable. So my Predaplant and Butler get tributed for the Lava Golem. We activate the Butler from the graveyard, put our copy of Roxy's on the field. The reason for Roxy's is that I know that he is going to end up killing whatever I put on the field. It does not matter what I put. I only had 2 options. I could have gone into my Doodle-Doo, I believe, or Roxy's. Excuse me 1 second. Yeah, non-fusion. So I could have gone into Doodle-Doo or my Roxy's. So I chose to do Roxy's because it is face-up defense. I wanted to, again, mitigate as much damage as I can when my opponent does go into battle phase. I did not want to get OTK'd with a Leap or, you know, with a Gustav burning for 2k once he's done with all that, or Lava Golem burning me after he's done with me for 1k and then killing me on my turn. Did not want to deal with that. So face-up defense is what I went for. He gets the Golden Lord in his hand, puts it up on field with 3.5k attack. He activates a Scarlet Sanguine. Obviously, we are going to Ash Blossom it, again, to try to mitigate as much damage as we can this turn itself. He puts his other Golden Lord face-up attack, goes into battle phase, kills off the Lava Golem, kills off the Roxys, main phase 2, and then end of his turn. Thankfully, we managed to survive another turn. Now right here, I did not draw into my combo starter card, I drew into my copy of Right. So what I do is I activate the Thunder Dragon Fusion, banish it to get my combo starter card in my hand. Basically a combo starter searcher card. Now he banishes the Scarlet Sanguine and sets down a Golden Land Forever on the field, which is their Omni Negate. But keep in mind, he set this Omni this turn, meaning he cannot activate it right now. So we start going into our combo. I activate the Right, put the token, normal out Fansies, start going into combo since I had recycled my Meowmoo the turn prior with my Pranks. We keep going, and at this point I realize that he had set the Golden Land this turn itself, so he cannot activate it. That means it's an easy OTK for us. We just go into our Unicorn, bounce whatever card we want to bounce. Like, it does not even matter if I choose to bounce a card. He already activated the Conquistador, so I'm not too worried about him even, killing a card on my side. The only card I probably should have been worried about is this card right here. But again, we already know what that card is. It is another Elixir, so that card is not a Guardian. And as soon as I put my Unicorn on the field and bounce his Golden Land, he just chooses to scoop. He knows that he's done for. The access code comes in the field. I whack into any of the Eldlich monster, and that would have been game. That's going to be it for today's game, guys. If you guys do enjoy this kind of videos, please consider hitting the like button, subbing to my channel for more daily prank video uploads, and if you guys are interested in the live version of all of this, I do live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/jpbduel. Link along with my schedule and a link to my Discord will be in the video description itself for you guys to check out. This is JPBduel signing out for today. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace!